Group Captain Jha, tragedy coming to light from Ahmedabad in Gujarat, the worst civil aviation crash in more than 3 decades being reported. Over 242 people were on board this Air India aircraft from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick. What do you make of possibly what went wrong, Group Captain Jha? It is early still. It's just been a couple of hours since this crash. But what do you make of what could have possibly gone wrong?
Very unfortunate indeed. And my heart and mind goes with the people who were on board the aircraft. The only immediate thing of interest to me is whether any person managed to jump out of either the emergency door or the normal door, whether that could have been opened before the aircraft was engulfed in the fire. That is one area where my mind still is running through. Till now, unfortunately, no one on any channel have given us any information that so-and-so passenger was rescued. He was found lying on the ground or walking something, and then so that we have not heard anything, that we have not heard from any of the person. So it's a very frightening situation right now. And the small clip that was visible to me, it just gives about a second and a half at the time of impact. In that a second and a half, I don't think any such action would have been possible. But there are few things which is apparent from the video clip that we usually see. You know, whenever any aircraft accident happens, usually it is a mosaic of the picture. Again, it is too early an event for me to speculate. I must not speculate, but I'm just telling you the standard things, what happens. Whenever any passenger aircraft or fatal accident happens, there are mosaics of events that take place. In the civil airliner, I have done about 7 fatal aircraft accidents, but those were of the Indian Air Force, including some helicopters. So their scenario is slightly different. In Indian Air Force, usually we don't permit flying after the temperature exceeds 40 degrees Celsius. That's the usual sort of thing that we maintain. Here, I suppose the temperature was pretty high at Ahmedabad airport, but that should not be any criteria here because the aircraft was able to airborne. You know, when we go for the aircraft to take off, we go at the beginning of the runway at the shoulders, we line up. After line up, we put the aircraft onto the brakes. Then we push the throttle. The engine picks up the RPM. At certain RPM, we determine that yes, all engine parameters, everything is normal. Both pilot and the co-pilot or the first officer, they confirm that all parameters are normal. And then we release the brake. Aircraft starts rolling up. And somewhere close to the mid of the runway or so, usually the takeoff speed is achieved. We call it V1. V1, after V1 is achieved, then pilot initiates the takeoff. He pulls the stick, aircraft is airborne, and then thereafter acceleration continues, aircraft continues ascending up gradually. And that's the usual, you know, me and you, every time that we have taken off in the civil airliner, this is the normal usually event. We climb to about 1.2 kilometers initially and then level off. And that is the time when people are told that, yes, they can move around. Till that time, they are all harnessed to the seat. No one is standing, no one is permitted to take off. Here, in this case, what peculiarity we are seeing is, we understand the aircraft was able to take off to about 200 meters, 600 feet, or aircraft was airborne. This airborne aircraft only shows that the engine speed, engine thrust was good enough to make the aircraft airborne. First thing. Thereafter, what has made the aircraft to lose further height, further elevation, thrust is unknown. And usually, even if there is one engine which is at 100 RPM, the pilot should be able to go around and do the normal landing with the one engine. He may not be able to pull up thereafter, but he should be able to. But here in this case, what we see is the pilot is in control. We see the aircraft gradually descending, and just about before hitting the ground, we see the aircraft's nose slightly nose up. That's the usual attitude of the aircraft that we maintain while we are going for touchdown. So that means pilot was in control of the aircraft. He has given one SOS or Mayday call, whatever is there. Civil aircraft, civil pilots, they speak very little about the emergencies unless it is very mandatory. So I'm not sure how much of information he has been able to give to the air traffic control just before making the crash landing. So Mayday call was given, that we know, and then thereafter we see the aircraft with a slightly nose up attitude. That means aircraft was going to make a hard landing or crash landing. Pilot was in control of this. This all indicates there is also one thing very glaring. Both engines are seen in the aircraft, but there is no fire trail. There is no smoke trail. Usually, if the engine catches fire, we can see a trail of smoke. That is not seen here. So, what has made the engines to lose thrust? There is obviously loss of thrust.
Absolutely, because we can clearly